And what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified here on Wednesday night. We have got a great week of football. I love the final 2 weeks of the regular season because we know who's going to be in the hunt for a league championship, who's maybe going to win a league championship this week, at least a share of it, who's in a playoff spot. There's a lot of importance on these final 2 weeks, so we're going to get to some big matchups coming up. We're going to hear from Riverside Poly. We're going to hear from the Cajon Cowboys. We'll mix in some college football, and we also have some girls flag football, which the playoffs actually began last night on Tuesday night. I had a chance to go out to Riverside Poly High School. The Bears were taking on Temescal Canyon in the first round in Division 4. Quarterback Brooklyn Snyder finding Ashlyn Gilman for a touchdown right there. That was in the second quarter. And then a little bit later in the second quarter, it's going to be Snyder to Alyssa Mitchell on another score. Riverside Poly goes on to win 33-26, the final score. They move on to Saturday's second round. They will play on the road at Chaminade coming up on Saturday, and we'll have more on Riverside Poly on the Riverside Sports Update on Riverside TV this week. Now, as I mentioned, I was out at Riverside Poly checking in with the football team and also the girls flag football. Big game in the Sun Belt League in the Rain Cross Conference coming up this week, and Valley View versus Riverside Poly. It's also our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game. The Eagles are 3-0. The Bears are 3-0. The winner of this game will have at least a share of the Sun Belt League title, and they can win it outright in the following week. So sole possession of first place in the Sun Belt League is on the line. Both teams are having a great year. Both teams want to get into the playoffs. Valley View made it last year. Poly did not. And I know that doesn't sit well with them. Same thing with Hillcrest last year. They all had the same league record, but only Valley View got in. This is a big game. It's the Kin Sporting Goods must-see game this week. And also, real quick, got this while I was out there at Riverside Poly. Now, you might notice that the Bears have gone back to the bear face on their helmet. Now, they used to have the paw print. If you don't know why they went from the paw print back to just the bear face, the bear head on their helmet, and their main primary logo, well, you're going to have to find out. But a big thanks to Jim Vaughn, the athletic director, Daryl Hanson, the principal out there at Riverside Poly High School, hooking us up. This will go in the Friday Night Pep Rally studio at Riverside TV this week. Switched out with the old Poly helmet with the new one. And we'll explain. If you know, you know. But if you don't know, you have to watch the Friday Night Pep Rally, why they went from the paw to the bear face. All right, more Riverside Poly. Yes, we do cover other teams. Several Riverside Poly related things coming up right now. Right now, it's our Bass Athletics play of the week. If you guys didn't see this, it was pretty wild. First, we had it on the Friday Night Pep Rally, and here it is again. Inland Sports. The Bass Athletics play of the week. Poly last week taking on Hillcrest in a thriller. And fourth down, Poly going for it with the tush push, and Marjock Gustafson, the quarterback, burst from the pile. They were just trying to get a first down, maybe a yard, right, at the most. And no, they take the whole thing. Was that 48 yards on the touchdown run? Poly would win the game 33-27 to set up this showdown with Valley View this week. They might do the tush push better than the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, that was pretty impressive. And that's our Bass Athletics play of the week. Now, we had a chance to catch up with Benji Matthews of Riverside Poly. He is having a season for the ages. I mean, he is now the all-time sack leader, at least not all-time, but single-season sack leader for Riverside Poly. The previous record was 13 sacks in 1 year. And right now, Benji is at 14 and a half through 8 games, 14 and a half and counting. So he is now the sack leader in terms of one single season at Riverside Poly. He's also playing fullback. He's also scoring touchdowns on offense. He's having a big year. And when it comes to sacks, at least, he's one of the state leaders right now as well. So we caught up with Benji Matthews to talk about his season so far and also the importance of this game going up against Valley View this week. And they know what's at stake. First place is on the line in the Sun Belt League. Inland Sports.
Just to bounce back from last year and to have this opportunity to be league champs this year, it really means a lot. And especially to kind of get our get back from last year because we lost to Valley View. So this game means a lot to us. All of our seniors on senior night, it means a lot more than most games do.
And obviously the winner of this game will be in the driver's seat. They'll have at least a share of the league championship. The winner will have a chance to win the outright title the following week in week number 10. So, I mean, you guys know what's at stake, right? You guys know what's on the line and how bad you guys want this.
We want it real bad, we got to prove to our own students or everybody in the city, we're always the doubted school. So it feels good to just, show everybody that we're not pushing around, we mean business.
Was the goal from the start of the season to win a league championship, to win the Sun Belt?
Honestly, the goal of the season was to win everything. That's our goal every year. Kind of come with the mindset of we're the best in the state, best in the country, best everywhere. And, winning just only proves that as more.
Speaking of being the best, you are one of the best in the state of California when it comes to sacks. You're telling me you already broke the school record for Poly. How many sacks do you have this year?
As of right now, 14 and a half. The school record was 13.
So you are now the all-time great in sacks for Poly in a single season, and also one of the leaders in the state of California. What do you think has been the key for you in terms of just playing great defense and getting to the quarterback this season?
Honestly, being a senior, being on varsity a long time, I have a lot of experience, and I practice technique like no other. So I feel like that and technique is just two keys that will get you as far as you need to go. So yeah, technique is big.
Well, you're also making a huge impact on offense, too. I mean, do you basically play almost every single snap?
Yeah, I try, do it. Wherever the team needs me, I'm going to go. It doesn't matter if I'm tired or not. I'm going to give it my 100% of time.
All right, Benji, finally, the game against Valley View, obviously a huge game of the week. What do you think is the key to getting the victory against the Eagles on Friday?
Just playing Poly football and everybody does their job to the best of their ability, and we're going to win. That's all it is. Play as a team too.
Inland Sports. All right, good stuff, Benji. Big game coming up between Valley View and Riverside Poly this week. One of several big games in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. Let's take a look at just some of the big games that we are keeping an eye on. Centennial versus Norco. That is a rivalry game. Throw out the numbers, the old sports cliche. Centennial, yes, is the heavy favorite, but Norco is having a good season. Murrieta Valley versus Vista Murrieta, another game in the Big West Upper that has huge playoff implications. Murrieta Valley right now sitting in that 2 spot in the Big West Upper. Vista Murrieta fighting for a path to the playoffs. That's an important game, a rivalry game as well. From the Big West Upper to the Big West Lower, kind of like Poly versus Valley View, King versus Murrieta Mesa is straight up for first place in that league. Murrieta Mesa, the defending champion. Of course, they went on to win CIF, get to the SoCal Regional. King versus Murrieta Mesa, the winner will be all alone in first place in the Big West Lower. Now to the Ivy League, where things are real messy right now. Orange Vista, the clear favorite to win their 4th consecutive Ivy League championship. But after that, who knows? The only thing I know right now is Liberty is playing a lot better football right now. The last 3 weeks, the Bison have looked great. Almost beat Orange Vista. They beat Vista Del Lago. They beat JW North. Big test for the Bison on the road at Rancho Verde. Elsinore versus Tockwitz. That will be for second place in the Mountain Pass. That will be for a playoff spot. Rev versus Yucaipa. If Rev wins, they will lock up a playoff spot. They will lock up 3rd place in the CBL. What a turnaround for head coach Christian King and the Wildcats. And finally, Eisenhower versus Grand Terrace. In the Sunkist League and the San Andreas League, there's only 4 teams. It's a 3-week sprint to the finish to determine a league champion and playoff spots. That's a big game in the Sunkist League between Grand Terrace and Eisenhower. All right, we're also on alert for quarterback Khalil Abdul-Aziz from Orange Vista because he is approaching 10,000 career passing yards. Now, Khalil Abdul-Aziz passed for more than 400 against Vista Del Lago in the previous week to put him only 33 yards away from that major milestone of 10,000 in his career. He is a 4-year starter for Orange Vista. He's already won 3 league championships. He's won a CIF championship, and now he's trying to add his name to a list of CIF Southern Section quarterbacks, some of the all-time greats to get to 10,000 yards. In fact, let's take a look at the list right now. This was the list going into the season, all right? So this was the CIF Southern Section record book as we started the year. And you can see, of course, Jaden Daniels from Cajon, the all-time record holder. Man, 13,827. That is a lot of yards. But he's followed by our guy, Hank Bachmeyer from Murrieta Valley. A little bit farther down, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's Armando Herrera from Redlands East Valley, a four-year starter for Kurt Bruick and the Wildcats. Won a CIF championship, state championship. So Armando's on there as well. And let's see, there's only 8 quarterbacks with more than 10,000 yards in the Southern Section. And Khalil Abdul-Aziz has a chance to join this list and move up. Well, he's already, I think, no, he's probably number 10 right now in passing yards. Yeah, he's number 10 right now. He will move up to number 9 and hit that 10,000 career passing yards mark likely against J.W. North this week. And that'll actually be the Riverside TV Game of the Week. So you can watch the game live on Riverside TV, and then we'll have highlights of Khalil Abdul-Aziz and Orange Vista taking on J.W. North on the Friday Night Pep Rally live at 11 p.m. to midnight, also on Riverside TV. So another reason to watch. We got some games that will decide first place in a couple of different leagues, and then we got Khalil Abdul-Aziz trying to join the 10,000 career passing yards club. All right, last week on Riverside TV, it was the Battle of the Kins, and it was a dramatic finish on Saturday night at Norte Vista. If you did not see the game, if you did not watch it live on Riverside TV, here's about 60 seconds of just the end. I mean, it was tied at 20 with 2 minutes to play, and it was a frantic finish in the Battle of the Kins, with Novi coming out on top. Here is Ghazal Hassan and Jeff Gorham on the call from Riverside TV.
A lane up the middle. Touchdown! Are doing a nice job as that change of pace back in a lane just kind of slips inside and goes into the end zone. And the big boys up front doing the job, running behind big Colton Landay there.
Especially against this Ramona team who has been, dominant for several years. Only a couple losses in those couple years.
Here's White trying to find some space right up the middle. White gets to the outside. Can he go? Will he go? He will go. Kickoff return, touchdown, Michael White. Ramona within a point.
No flags. Oh, my golly. Game over!
Abraham Saldana for the win. 46-yard field goal, and the Braves, as the clock expires.
Well, the Battle of the Kins certainly did not disappoint last week on Riverside TV. And again, the game this week on Riverside TV is Orange Vista versus J.W. North. All right, let's round out this segment as we take a look at the Bass Top 25 after week number 8, going into week number 9. Take a look, as I put on social media, not major changes this week. At this point of the season, they are who we thought they were, right? There has not been a lot of major changes. I'll say maybe the one big change we've had from the start of the season to where we are right now is Patriot, right? Patriot beating Ramona, beating Norte Vista. They shoot up to number 17. They're 7-1 on the season, so they're in line to win their first ever River Valley League Championship, and they will likely do it outright. That's really the only big change. Now, what could change in the rankings the next 2 weeks is some of these important head-to-head matchups, like Murrieta Valley versus Vista Murrieta. That's an important one. King versus Murrieta Mesa. I know there's some games coming up in the Ivy League that might decide, who's ranked higher. Can Vista Del Lago go up? Can Liberty go up? So there's certain games out there that could have some influence on the top 25, but I gotta be honest, at this point of the season, they are who we thought they were, and there's not going to be major changes at this point unless we've got some big head-to-head matchups that will dictate that. Or maybe one of these teams get hot and they make a run in CIF. We have to take into account, what playoff division they are playing in, the competition and all that. All that is a factor. And like I've said before, and I'll say it again, head-to-head matchups are very important in ranking the top 25. You also have to take a look at what they're doing right now. The way they're playing right now in week 8 or 9 could be a lot different than week 0 or 1. So you have to take that into consideration, but also, I'm not trying to talk out both sides of my mouth, but also the whole body of work, the whole season. So how have they played all season long? A team that really jumps out to me, we talked about Patriot, shooting up the rankings. Liberty had a real up and down non-league, season. I think they lost the Talkwitz, but they also had some good wins in there. And then they get the Ivy League play. They almost beat Orange Vista. In fact, they had the Coyotes on the ropes. They beat a very good and well-coached Vista Del Lago team. They beat JW North like they were supposed to last week. So Liberty's a team that's really coming on strong. So again, what they're doing right now also matters, but also taking into consideration the whole body of work. And I'll say this too. Whoever wins the Sun Belt League, we got to find a spot for them in the top 25. I just don't know which team we take out to make room for Valley View or Riverside Poly, because they got to get in there. So we're going to have to figure that out. But whoever wins the Sun Belt League deserves to be in the Bass top 25. I will say that, because they should be in there. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we are going to check in with the Cajon Cowboys. They are in line to bring the Citrus Belt League title back to Cajon High School and Jaden Daniels Stadium. The Cowboys get Redlands this week, where they have a chance to not only clinch a playoff spot, but also clinch at least a share of the CBL crown, and they can win it outright in the final week of the regular season next week in week number 10. So when we come back, we will check in with the Cajon Cowboys football team right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics hopes student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. If you made it this far, please give this video a like, subscribe to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel, and even you can do better than that. You can please share our video. A lot of you athletes out there or coaches, sometimes you get on the show and we try to put it out there on social media, but it really helps when you guys share it on social media and also just on campus, telling other people about it too. We really do appreciate it. Help spread the word. All right, more high school football right now. We're talking about the Citrus Belt League. The title, once again, runs through San Bernardino, runs through Cajon High School. The Cowboys are 3-0 in the CBL. They've got Redlands this week, and then they could wrap up the outright league championship next week in week number 10. But with a win against the Terriers, it's a playoff spot. It's at least a share of the CBL championship, so an important game this week for the Cowboys. We had a chance to catch up with head coach Nick Rogers, his freshman quarterback, yes, freshman, we've heard that before, Marcus Washington, and a couple of his teammates in the backfield who are also having a big season, Maleek, Nolley, and also Jordan White. So let's check in with the Cowboys as they get set for a big final 2 weeks of the regular season, and also can they put together another CIF run? They've done it in the past at Cajon. Can they do it again this season? Here they come on the Inland Sports Show, the Cajon Cowboys. Inland Sports. And now join us on the show, the Cajon Cowboys football team on pace to win another Citrus Belt League title. They control their own destiny as we go into the final 2 weeks of the regular season. We've got head coach Nick Rogers, a couple of his star players as well. And coach, I know we got Redlands this week, and you focus on your opponent in front of you, but you must feel pretty good at the big picture right now, right? In terms of winning a CBL championship and what you guys can accomplish the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, this is we feel pretty good about it. Obviously, we got two opponents we got to get through, but a lot of it right now we've secured a spot in playoffs. So a lot of our focus now is kind of getting ready for playoffs, not looking past anybody, but again, just starting to dial in certain things, just make sure that we can make a playoff run. We know we got one win away from getting a share of the league title and 2 wins from winning it outright. And it's been a 2-year drought for us, which, the last, 10, 12 years, we're not kind of used to that. So, it's just something we're excited about, get back into the championship stuff, and we'll go from there.
Obviously that game against Beaumont was the big one, right, for you guys in league and to beat the Cougars there. What did you learn about your team in that game, coach? I mean, what did you guys do well that was kind of the difference in that game that you felt like, hey, now I feel even more confident or even more optimistic now on the rest of the season about finishing strong and going into the playoffs? What did you guys do against Beaumont that you're like, yeah, okay, we need to keep this up?
Yeah, I mean, part of it was, and we've been kind of talking to it, especially on the defensive end, is just trusting the coaching, trusting your teammates. We had guys in the early part of the season trying to make plays for other people, and instead of just being where they're supposed to be, believing in their teammates, believing in where the coaches are telling them to go. And so I think defensively it was just a great game plan put on by our coaches, and the kids executed it great. And then offensively, we relied on these three guys especially to kind of control the clock, run the football. They did, all of them made big plays throughout the game, and really did a good job of kind of grinding out that win. So it was just big for us, big for this young team, because again, we play a lot of youth on this group, and it's not even just so much in age; it's just inexperience. We started the year with only one returning starter on offense that played significant snaps, and on defense there was only, I think, 5. So we got a lot of guys that hadn't seen varsity true experience. So again, and then now that we're into the latter half of the regular season, they're starting to pick up their stride, and things are going well for us.
All right, Coach, before I get to your guys, we spoke, I think it was the first week of August, and you told me in that interview on the onset that, hey, the defense has experience, the defense is going to be good. We've got a ton of talent on offense. They just need some time, get some snaps together. Where the offense is right now, led by Marcus Washington at quarterback, I mean, do you feel good, and have you seen that growth over the season so far through the first 8 games?
Yeah, they actually, shocked me a little bit how fast they kind of picked it up. And we made some mistakes, throughout the course of the first 5 games. But again, we were putting up a lot numbers that I originally probably would have said, and maybe not yet. But again, scoring 30, I think we averaged somewhere in the 30s during the preseason. Was just, tremendous success for these guys, these young guys. And now we're just kind of building on that. We're picking up the points. And again, these guys are moving the football and being, we had, not turning the ball over very much. We did that early on. And again, the last few weeks, it's been pretty good there too.
All right, Coach, let me go to your guys. I'll start with Marcus Washington, freshman, starting at quarterback at Cajon. We've heard this story before. Marcus, what do you think has been the most important thing for you to have success and feel comfortable playing quarterback at Cajon? What's the most important thing for you to make that happen?
Talk to a lot of my players, talk to my coaches. I always stay after practice too to talk to some of my guys, get in the right mindset, and just take practices serious, take the game preparation serious. Yep.
Marcus, we've seen you all season long making all these big plays, and, I kind of forget, oh my gosh, this guy's, he's only a freshman. He looks like he belongs out there. Was there any point during the season where you had that moment or a touchdown or a play where you're like, yeah, I belong here, man. I can play at this level?
First week against Norco, actually, even though we lost, during the first half, I was a little nervous because first high school game, but as soon as I got my groove back, second half, we kicked in, and we almost came back, but, ended up falling short.
Now, we got Jordan and Maleek as well. So, Marcus, let me ask you, how does it make your life easier quarterbacking a team that has so many weapons on offense like those guys on each side of you?
It makes it a lot easier because, when one of them gets tired, you just call the other one in, and they get the job done.
All right, good stuff, Marcus. Let me go to Maleek Nolley now next. And Maleek, when I think of Cajon, I always think of great skill position players, man. The Cajon's had so many great skill guys over the years. Offensively, do you feel like you guys are, I don't want to say peaking, but at least getting better, right? Where you guys want to be going into the playoffs? Do you feel like the offense is getting there finally?
Yeah, I just feel like we had to like get back into, I feel like we need to play more like a team, and, we started doing that. So, we're getting better together. So we've been playing better the past few games, and I feel like we're going to pick it up. And we already did, actually, So, yeah.
Yeah, going back to that Beaumont game, what do you feel like was the difference in that game, and how did that maybe build some confidence in you guys to to hopefully now make a deep run in CIF at the end of the regular season?
I feel like the Beaumont game, we always on the same page. So, we all have the mindset of winning. So I think that's going to help us in the long run.
All right, so Maleek, 2 games left in the regular season at the time of this interview. I know you guys are on the verge of a Citrus Belt League championship, but when you look around the locker room, do you feel like, hey, this team hopefully still has like at least another 6 games or maybe more on the season trying to make that deep run in CIF? What do you think it's going to take?
Consistency. I feel like we all stay consistent, and I know all of them want to keep playing, so we all got to just keep working. We'll get there.
All right, good stuff, Maleek. Let me go over to the other side, Jordan White as well. And Jordan, man, Coach called you guys like a three-headed monster in that backfield for Cajon. When you look at this offense, I mean, you guys got some great receivers as well, but you guys are really running the football well. What do you like about the offense right now for the Cowboys?
We're really trusting each other. Our own line's coming through, protecting Marcus, and driving down the field.
So the last couple of weeks, I think it was, 54-0 against Redlands East Valley in the previous week. So, Jordan, in that game, do you feel like, hey, we're kind of a dual threat? We can run the football, we can throw the football. We feel comfortable with Marcus making that decision. Maybe he wants to take off on the run. Do you feel like pick your poison? Like we can do a lot of things. We can do them well. Do you feel like with this Cajon team, you guys can do everything pretty well?
Yeah, I think we can execute it all. We just got to have that trust, and we've been having that trust, so I think we can do it.
And what do you think? I mean, we've seen everything. We've seen close battles with Beaumont going down to the wire. We saw you guys beat a Rev team that's having a better season. So to go on the road and win 54-0, that was impressive. So whether it's a blowout or a close game, what has impressed you about this Cajon team, the way it's playing right now?
When times get rough, everybody pulls through, and we start battling back, not letting other teams walk over us.
And, Coach, let me go back to you. I mean, because when you look at this season, I mean, the crazy game against San Jacinto, the trip out to Texas, the game with Beaumont that went down to the wire. I feel like you've already played a full season, and we're in week 8 right now. What do you like about the way the team is playing right now? And do you feel like there's still some areas for improvement before you get to the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one thing, at Cajon and a lot of schools, you play a competitive non-league schedule for these reasons here. And so those games, against Norco, which kind of jumped on us early, and it took us a while to kind of battle back. But, again, we're starting to figure it out. And then, again, you go back to San Jacinto, which is always a tough program. Eric does a great job over there. And, again, we were in a battle all the way to the end. I ended up giving one up late in the game for them to win. And then same thing in Permian, had a chance, had them on the ropes early on, and then let them back into it. So, again, these kids are learning from those mistakes. And, again, that time we could have, we jumped out on Beaumont in a similar setting, and then Beaumont started coming and clawing back. Credit to that coaching staff for being able to do that. But, again, I think those games against Permian, against San Jacinto, taught these guys a little bit about finishing. And so when we got in that kind of dogfight at the end with Beaumont, they were prepared for it. And so, credit to those guys for, again, sticking with the program and buying into what we're talking about and just understanding it's making them a little bit better. And then again, we're going to see some of these things down the road where we're going to be tested again. And again, I think, again, we talk about what it did. We're definitely battle tested at this point.
Yeah, Coach, I think you just answered my next question, my last question, playing those close games and coming up short against San Jacinto, and you mentioned Permian and Odessa, Texas. But then that situation was kind of playing out against Beaumont, but you guys were able to, fix that and pull out that big win. As we get ready for the playoffs, do you think that's the most critical thing, that you guys just continue to learn from mistakes, get better? Do you think that's the most important things in terms of stacking wins and trying to make another CIF run? Because you know what it takes. You've won a CIF championship.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. These guys, again, that's why you schedule those guys. When I see, teams that, schedule, softer non-league schedules, again, at the end, I think it hurts your team. And so, again, we didn't mind going in there into league play at 2-3 because, again, it made us better down the road. And again, I picked that up. That I remember watching Rev do that back when they were winning, state championships, playing the tough non-league. And I said, okay, we got to do that. That's, it just prepares you better for the game down the road. So I'm just really excited about what these kids can do. Again, we're coming into these next 2 games trying to secure a league title. And again, we've got the makeup to make a run at it if these kids just stick with it.
Well, you guys control your own destiny. A win against Redlands this week, and you guys will have at least a share of the CBL championship and can win the outright in the final week of the regular season in week number 10. Coach Rogers, always appreciate the time. Marcus Washington, Maleek, Nolley, and, of course, Jordan White from the Cajon Cowboys joining us on the Inland Sports Show. Guys, thank you so much. Good luck this week, and hopefully we can do this again in the playoffs. Maybe you guys will have a CIF trophy at the end of this.
Let's hope so. Thanks.
All right, that's the Cajon Cowboys here on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
Always enjoy checking in with the Cajon Cowboys, and another great season for them. Looks like they're figuring it out. Later in the season, it's been up and down, as you heard from Coach Rogers. They played some really good teams. It was interesting too. He said he took, he took some notes from what Kurt Bruick did at Redlands East Valley, playing such a daunting, tough non-league schedule to get them ready for league play and ultimately, big CIF playoff games. Being in uncomfortable environments and situations once you get to the playoffs, you feel like you've been there before, you played good teams, you've seen it all, to be really comfortable to make that championship run. So good stuff from the Cowboys. Thank you, Coach Rogers, for your time. I really do appreciate it as always, and we'll see if Cajon can lock up again a playoff spot, part of the CBL championship this week against Redlands. We'll have highlights from the San Bernardino schools and the surrounding communities in those leagues: San Andreas, Sunkist, Skyline, CBL, Mountain Valley, Ironwood. This week on Sports Weekly Live on IEMG. That is Saturday at noon. Check it out. We'll go for about an hour. Scores and highlights, maybe some interviews as well, including maybe we'll play some of this Cajon interview on Sports Weekly Live again on Saturday. It's kind of a different audience. So check it out. Sports Weekly Live on the Inland Empire Media Group YouTube channel. So live on YouTube and then tape delayed for local TV. That's TV3 in the city of San Bernardino. If you guys don't have that channel, it's okay. You can watch it on YouTube, but it will be tape delayed for Channel 3 in San Bernardino. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we will talk some college football, RCC, and SBVC when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
Yes, the Dodgers swept the Milwaukee Brewers. Shohei Ohtani put on one of the greatest games, if not the greatest ever, in that Game 4 to sweep Milwaukee with 3 home runs, 10 strikeouts on the mound. So the Dodgers are in. The defending champions are in. But who will they play? It's going to be the Mariners or the Blue Jays. Game 7 of the American League Championship Series is tonight. The winner will take on the Dodgers.
It's in Toronto. It's do or die. I mean, gosh, there's a lot going on. First of all, Shohei Ohtani, it's hard to even quantify what has happened when he does 10 strikeouts and hit 3 home runs. I mean, what are we talking here? This is like a combination of Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, hitting the 3 home runs. You know what I mean? It's wild. He's in his own category, you know? Maybe he needs his own award, some kind of different sort of MVP type of deal. But, the World Series will be decided tonight because, of course, I mean, I guess in terms of excitement, there's no 2 bigger words than Game 7.
That's it. I know who you're pulling for. Of course, you want the Seattle Mariners to get in there, but Toronto, man, I thought Seattle was going to be a slam dunk to get to the World Series. The Blue Jays finally found their bats. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is hitting home runs right and left. I mean, he's coming on hot right now, so I have no idea, but you're right. The game is in Toronto, so maybe the Blue Jays have a little bit of an advantage there, but man, you never know what's going to happen in a Game 7. I don't know if home field advantage even matters anymore. The team that's hot, I don't know, man. Game 7s are just wild. You have no idea.
They're hot right now, so we'll see.
Yeah, so Game 7 tonight as the Dodgers await the winner. And I will say this. I was at a high school football game on Friday night. The guy on the chain gang wearing a Shohei Ohtani jersey. I'm at the San Bernardino Valley College football game on Saturday. Guy next to me wearing a Shohei Ohtani jersey. Our guy Jaden Daniels, another injury, man. The quarterback out of Cajon High School for the Commanders. He had the knee injury. He comes back, and now a significant hamstring injury. I know he's going to have an MRI later today. But, man, it's probably going to be at least several weeks, and the Commanders have all these injuries at receiver, too. They are not in a good spot.
Injuries are big this year, it sure feels like. I guess they're big every single year. It's which team is going to get stricken by it. And, of course, the internet is going bananas. They are merciless. They're like, oh, another RG3.
Yeah, and, look at my 49ers. The 49ers have had to fight through a bunch of injuries. They're keeping their head above water, though. You know what I mean? Like, they were treading water, and now they're actually winning games. They beat Atlanta last night in a great defensive game for the 49ers. So you can win despite injuries. It's just a lot harder, and you need to have all the pieces pulling together. And for Washington, they're going to find out. I mean, Marcus Mariota is a great quarterback, but without Jaden Daniels, without Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, all these guys are hurt right now. Can they find a way to win?
Yeah, next man up.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Inland Sports.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. We're going to wrap things up here with some college football conversation here. Big one coming up on Saturday. It'll be live on Riverside TV as Riverside City College will take on Mount San Jacinto College, a little Riverside County IE battle out there at Wheelock Stadium. The Tigers are coming off an impressive victory on the road at Southwestern College. The Tigers with a 28-point first quarter to go on to win this game by a final score of 69-42. And the Tigers erupted from nearly 700 yards of offense in this game. The Jaguars were actually undefeated going into this game before this loss against RCC, so that was a huge win for them on the road. Maybe it'll get things going. It's been kind of a little bumpy in non-conference and going into conference play. So the Tigers now are at 5-2 overall, 3-1 in the National Conference Southern League going into this game against MSJC this upcoming week. But, man, what an impressive performance. Brian Wilson, the former Roosevelt quarterback, finishing with 396 yards of offense. Marquise Monroe, Kavion Sibley, those two stud running backs for the Tigers. Kyle Tyler as well. They're all doing their part to get RCC back in that hunt for a state championship. Ultimately, got to get into the playoffs first. And it's an expanded playoffs this season, but things are looking good for RCC. But a big game coming up this Saturday at Wheelock Stadium against MSJC, and that game will be live on Riverside TV. Now, also, I don't know if you saw, but San Bernardino Valley College, They were taking on, one second here, SBVC was taking on Santa Monica College. We had the game live on IEMG, SBVC and the Corsairs in overtime, tied at 24. SBVC misses the field goal. Santa Monica gets the football. Now it's their turn in overtime, and this is your winning touchdown, 30-24 in OT. The Wolverines with their second consecutive overtime home loss. Here's the call, Jesus Cornell on IEMG.
Here's Moreno with the snap, hands it off to Dylan Franklin, who loses the football. Ball still loose. It's recovered. It looks like it's Assad Chapman who's going to go all the way for a touchdown. What a play for Assad Chapman. It might be his first defensive touchdown of the season, and it couldn't come at a better time. Third and goal. Aguirre, play action, throws it back to Harris Jr. He's got an entourage, slips into the touchdown. Jason Harris Jr. from 2 yards out, finds the seam and goes for a touchdown. And here's the snap by Aguirre, who looked to pass this time. Harris Jr. one-on-one, gets the reception. Harris Jr. touchdown Wolverines! 44 yards from Aguirre to Jason Harris Jr. How about that for momentum? Jason Harris Jr. with his second touchdown tonight. Second and 10 from the 14. Moreno in shotgun, 2 receivers each side. He'll take the pass, looks left, throws left, one-on-one coverage, is a touchdown! Bryson Wood from 14 yards gets the touchdown reception in the game. It's close to being tied. Popcorn ready if you're a Corsair fan. This could be the game winner. And here we go. Second and goal from the inch mark. Moreno in shotgun. Moreno. Washington, game over! Corsairs win in overtime! 30-24, the final. What a win for Santa Monica! And what a way to do it in overtime with Christopher Washington leading the way.
Definitely a wild finish between Santa Monica and SBVC. We had it live on IEMG. Great stuff there from Jesus Coronel on the call. Any way you slice it, it has been a big bounce-back season for the Wolverines to go from they played 2 games last year. They lost both of them 65-0, then forfeited the rest of the season. Head coach James Griffin has already had a bounce-back season for the Wolverines. I think surpassed any expectation. They're 4-3 right now, 1-1 in the American Conference Pacific League. It's already been a big bounce-back season for SBVC, but I know they want more. They want to be in the hunt for championships, league titles, and all those things. They got 3 games left. They're going to play at West LA, at Grossmont, and then back home on November 8th to wrap up the regular season against LA Pierce. So still a lot to play for the Wolverines in these final couple weeks of the regular season. And we'll have that final game live on IEMG on November 8th. But again, 2 road games coming up for the Wolverines, 2 big ones there. We'll see if they can bounce back after that tough overtime loss to Santa Monica. All right, a big thanks to our guest tonight, the Cajon High School football team. We had Benji Matthews from Riverside Poly, and a lot of high school football right now. It's a great time of the year. There's so much at stake. We got some big head-to-head matchups. We're crowning league champions, playoff spots on the line, so a lot of good things going on right now in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. If you made it this far, if you made it to the end of the show, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. And also, please share word of mouth on social media, on campus, whatever it takes, man. We really appreciate it if you guys can help spread the word about the Inland Sports Show and the awesome guests that we have and the positive stories that we are allowed to share here on the program. All right, I'm Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.